In the fog-draped town of Harrow's End, Elias Kane inherits a battered old radio from his estranged father, Amos, expecting only nostalgia. But every midnight, it sparks to life, unplugged, broadcasting a ghostly program where the dead strangers, neighbors, and soon Amos himself beg Elias to complete the tasks they left undone. A letter never sent, a secret never shared, a dream left in ashes. As the calls grow urgent and the radio's power destabilizes, Elias uncovers his father's hidden experiments and a sinister force within the signal. With the town turning against him and time slipping away, can he heal the dead's regrets? And his owner, will the voices claim him forever? Plunge into a chilling saga of grief, redemption, and a radio that speaks beyond the grave. Harrow's End was a town frozen in time, its clapboard houses and crooked streets swallowed by fog that rolled off the valley's edge. Elias Kane, 34, lived alone on Maple Street, his small home a maze of woodworking tools, half-finished shelves, and unopened letters. A carpenter, he built with precision, but his life was frayed. His father, Amos Kane, a reclusive radio and clock repairman, had died a month ago, on September 22, 2025, from a heart attack. Their last meeting, a year prior, was a bitter argument. Elias, raw from years of distance, had called Amos cold. Amos, eyes heavy, said nothing. The silence lingered, a wound Elias couldn't close. Among Amos's possessions, delivered by a curt lawyer, was a 1940s Zenith radio, its walnut case scarred, its dials stiff with age. A note in Amos's jagged handwriting read, "For Elias, listen closely. I'm sorry." Elias set it on his kitchen table, its presence a quiet accusation. He hadn't spoken to anyone about Amos, not Nora Tate, the sharp-witted librarian who'd known his father, nor Cal Dwyer, his nosy mechanic neighbor who swapped stories for beer. That night, October 23, 2025, rain lashed Harrow's End, and Elias, sleepless, stared at the radio. At midnight, it hummed, its tubes glowing a sickly orange, though no cord connected it to the wall. Static hissed, then a voice, female, trembling, spoke. "This is the midnight call. I'm Clara Hensley. Elias, I need you." Elias's breath caught, his coffee mug clattering. Clara, claiming to be a school teacher dead since 1987, spoke of a letter she never sent to her sister, Rose, after a feud. "It's in my house, 12 Oak Lane, under the attic floor," she said, her voice cracking. "Rose is alive, in the nursing home. Please, give it to her." The radio snapped silent, its glow fading. Elias checked the plug-nothing. He paced, heart pounding, the voice too vivid for a dream. Was it Amos's doing? A prank? Clara's plea, laced with regret, echoed his own guilt over his father. The next morning, Elias drove to 12 Oak Lane, a sagging cottage boarded shut. The owner, Mr. Pell, a retired grocer, let him in, muttering about ghost stories. In the attic, Elias pried up a floorboard, finding a yellowed envelope in Clara's cursive. "Rose, I'm sorry for our fight. You were right. I love you." At the nursing home, Rose, 78, frail but sharp, read the letter, tears streaming. "Clara," she remembered. She whispered, gripping Elias's hand. Her peace was tangible, her decades of pain eased. Elias returned home, the radio's glow now a question mark. It wasn't just a machine, it was a conduit, and it knew him. He kept silent, wary of Harrow's End's gossip mill. But the radio called again at midnight. A new voice. Martin Cole, a baker, dead 1,999, who never shared a wedding cake recipe with his daughter, Ellie. "It's in my ledger, Cole's Bakery, basement," he said. Elias found the ledger, dust-choked, and gave the recipe to Ellie, now 45, who baked the cake for her daughter's quinceañera, her smile bittersweet. Each task healed a stranger, but the radio's hum grew louder, its static carrying faint, overlapping voices. Elias heard Amos's name, a whisper in the noise, and fear took root. What was the radio? And why was it calling him? November swept into Harrow's End, the fog thicker, the air sharp. Elias's carpentry job's kitchen cabinets, porch railings faltered as the radio consumed him. He'd answered 7 calls by mid-month. Clara's letter, Martin's recipe, a farmer's lost heirloom watch, a nurse's unconfessed medical error, a poet's burned manuscript, a sailor's unsent logbook, a widow's hidden locket. Each task was a thread in Harrow's End's tapestry, small acts returning a watch to a grandson, confessing for the nurse to a patient's family that lifted burdens from the living. But the dead's regrets mirrored Elias's own. Words he never said to Amos, chances he let slip. His dreams were static, faces of the dead pleading. The radio's program was structureless, no host, no station, just a voice at midnight, naming Elias. Its dials, frozen, tuned to nothing, yet it played, unpowered, its tubes glowing brighter. Elias tested it, burying it in a closet, but at midnight, its hum pierced the wood. A new caller, Lila Wren, a painter, dead 2004, who never showed her final canvas to her son, Toby. "It's in the old gallery, Harrow's End Art House storage room," she said. Elias found the canvasa radiant sunset, oranges bleeding into purple sand, delivered it to Toby, a teacher, who hung it in his classroom, his voice soft. Mom saw beauty everywhere. Lila's call ended with a warning. "The radio's growing. It's not just us, Elias, be careful." Elias confided in Nora, needing her clarity. At the library, her brown eyes narrowed. She dug into Harrow's End's archives, uncovering whispers of a midnight signal tied to Amos's radio shop, shuttered since his death. "Your dad was different," Nora said, her voice careful. "He fixed things radios, clocks that shouldn't work. People said he heard voices." Elias's chest tightened. Amos, distant, had been chasing something bigger. In Amos's attic, Elias found schematics. Circuits labeled temporal relay, notes scribbled, "For the lost, to give them peace." The note, "Listen closely, I'm sorry," felt like a plea. Had Amos built the radio to reach the dead? The radio's static now carried screams, its glow scorching the table. A new call came. Jonah Reed, a firefighter, dead 2010, who failed to save a child's teddy bear from a fire. Elias scoured a landfill, finding the bear, and gave it to the child, now 22, who clutched it, sobbing. Jonah's voice crackled. "Your father's coming, Elias. He's tied to this." Elias's heart lurched. Amos, calling. He wasn't ready to face the man he'd pushed away. Nora, now his anchor, urged him on. "You're giving them closure. Maybe Amos needs it too." But the radio's hum felt alive, its power unsteady, and Elias sensed something darker in the signal, watching. Harrow's End stirred. Cal, ever curious, noticed Elias's late-night errands, spreading tales of ghost hunting. A local pastor, Reverend Holt, preached against demonic voices, his sermons eyeing Elias. Nora deflected, but tension grew. Elias answered another calla seamstress, dead 1,975, who never finished a quilt for her niece. He found the quilt, delivered it, saw the niece's joy. But the radio sparked, a new voice, cold, unnamed. "You're waking us, Elias! Stop!" The static screamed, a vision flashing, Harrow's end burning, voices trapped. Elias gripped the radio. Fear coiling Amos had opened a door, and something else was slipping through. December's frost gripped Harrow's end, the radio's calls relentless. Elias, hollow-eyed, answered 12 more tasks. A lawyer's unsent apology to a client, a musician's lost symphony score, a mother's hidden diary, a teacher's unmailed student letter, a soldier's forgotten medal, a baker's recipe book, a gardener's rare seed, a photographer's undeveloped film, a writer's erased novel, a dancer's choreography notes, a mechanic's prototype engine, a doctor's unshared cure. Each task wove Elias into Harrow's End's history. Their resolutions apologies delivered. Films developed. Engines built mending fractured lives. But the radio's glow burned hotter. Its static a chorus of whispers, and Elias's health frayed his hands shook. His sleep vanished. The town buzzed with suspicion. Cal's gossip fueled Reverend Holt's crusade. His congregation trailing Elias, whispering, "Heretic." Nora, digging deeper, found a 1940s journal from Amos's mentor, a radio engineer named Silas Varn, who wrote of signals from beyond, tied to a tower near Harrow's End, dismantled after ghostly voices. Amos had apprenticed there, his schematics echoing Varn's. Elias felt Amos's presence, his silence louder than the calls. At midnight, the radio roared, Amos's voice breaking through. "Elias, it's me. I built this to help the lost, but I failed you. I never said I loved you. Fix the relay, or the voices break free." The radio sparked, its tubes cracking, a vision flooding Elias. Amos in his shop, soldering the radio, whispering, "For Elias, for their peace." Elias wept, guilt and love colliding. Amos's task fix, the relay was cryptic, the schematics incomplete. Nora found a lead. Amos's shop, boarded since his death, held a safe. They broke in, the air thick with dust, and cracked the safe, finding a final schematic labeled stabilizer and a letter. "Elias, the radio catches regrets, gives them voice. I wanted to help them, like I couldn't help you. Forgive me." Elias's resolve hardened he'd fix the radio. For Amos, for the dead.
But the calls grew chaotic. Voices overlapping Clara, Jonah, Lila, others pleading, "Hurry, Elias." The radio's glow scorched the floor, and a new caller, unnamed, growled, "We are the signal. You can't stop us." A vision hit. A void, faces trapped, screaming. Elias stumbled, Nora catching him. The signal wasn't just a dead it, was something older, hungrier, using the radio's breach. Holt's mob gathered, torches lit, chanting, "In the curse!" Elias and Nora worked in secret, rebuilding the stabilizer, Elias's carpentry skills guiding his hands. A vision showed Amos, dying, the radio glowing, whispering, "Save him." The clock read 18 hours till the next call. Amos's voice loomed, and the radio's collapse was near. The radio's hum was a pulse, its calls a storm. Elias and Nora, barricaded in his house, completed the stabilizer, its circuits glowing like Amos's design. The tasks grew desperate. A pilot's unsent flight log, a sculptor's unfinished statue, a librarian's lost archive, a chef's secret spice blend, a tailor's unstitched gown, a father's unwritten will. Each task plunged Elias into Harrow's End's pain, their resolutions to statue unveiled, a will rippling through families. But the town turned hostile. Holt's followers picketed, Cal leaked Elias's errands to a blog, Harrow's End Herald and a fire inspector, Miss Vance, probed, her questions sharp. Old radios can spark, she said, eyeing the zenith, her smile icy. A new call came, not Amos, but the signal, its voice a distorted chorus. Join us, Elias, or burn. The radio flared, searing Elias's arm, a vision showing Harrow's End ablaze, voices trapped in a void. Nora, shaken, found a 1940s article. The radio tower, tied to Varn and Amos, had broadcast ghost signals before its demolition. Amos tapped a frequency beyond death, she said. But something else answered. Elias's fear surged. The signal was a force, using the dead to widen its breach. They searched the tower's ruins, finding a rusted relay, its design matching Amos's. Elias repaired it, hand steady, but the radio's next call was Amos. Elias, the signal's waking. The relay source is my shop's basement. I love you. The radio shattered, tubes exploding, its glow blinding. Elias and Nora raced to the shop, Holt's mob trailing, chanting, "Burn the devil!" In the basement, a hidden chamber held a pulsing relay, its energy twisting the air. Elias plugged in the stabilizer, but the signal roared through a portable radio Amos had built, now glowing, "You'll join eternity." Vance appeared, her eyes glowing, a device like Kale's from another tale on her wrist. "The signal owns this town," she hissed, its agent guarding the breach. She attacked, her strength uncanny, but Nora swung a pipe, stunning her. Elias linked the stabilizer, the relay dimming, but the signal screamed, "You'll fail like Amos." A vision showed Amos's death, fighting the signal, dying to delay it. Elias pushed on, 12 hours left, the mob breaking in, Holt's torch blazing. The shop quaked, the relay's hum battling the signal's roar. Elias, Nora, and the stabilizer held, but Vance rose, her device sparking, amplifying the signal. The radio's final call was Amos, steady. "Elias, you're enough. Seal the relay, let us go." A vision showed Amos's sacrifice, sealing the signal, dying for Elias. Tears fell, but Elias's hand steadied he'd lost Amos, but he'd save him now. Holt's mob breached the door, but Nora barricaded it, shouting, "Elias now!" Vance lunged, her device burning, but Elias dodged, slamming the stabilizer's final circuit. The relay pulsed, the signal shrieking as voices, Clara, Jonah, Lila, Amos chanted, "Seal it." Elias flipped the switch, light erupting, Vance collapsing, her device dead. The radio silenced, its glow gone, the signal banished. Holt's mob froze, torches falling, as Nora explained, her voice cutting through their fear. Elias held the broken radio, Amos's voice a memory. "I love you." The shop stilled, the stabilizer inert, the dead at peace. Nora hugged him, her eyes fierce. Harrow's End was safe, but Elias bore the cost his father's truth, his own heart, forever altered. The mob dispersed, Holt shaken, Cal silent, Vance vanished, her device gone. Elias and Nora emerged to a town stunned, the fog thinning. The radio's tasks 27 in all had woven Harrow's End tighter, regrets mended, lives touched. But Amos's call lingered, his love a weight Elias finally embraced. The stabilizer, locked in the shop, was a warning. The signal might return. Elias vowed to listen, to honor the dead, and to live for the father he'd reclaimed. Harrow's End woke to a rare clear sky, the valley bright. Elias buried the radio in Amos's shop, its work done, the stabilizer sealed in a vault. Holt, humbled, preached unity. Cal, chastened, fixed neighbors' cars for free. The Harrow's End Herald ran a story. The carpenter's errands, framing Elias as a quiet hero. Nora and Elias, now partners, reopened Amos's shop as Kane's repairs, fixing radios, clocks, and community ties. The town healed, its scars lighter. Elias's tasks a whispered legend, 27 regrets, 27 bridges to peace. Elias carved a memorial shelf for Amos's tools, a nod to his father's dream. A vision came Amos, smiling, fading into light. You did it, son. Elias climbed Maple Street's hill, Nora at his side, Harrow's End alive below. You gave them rest, she said. Elias shook his head. We did. Dad, you, the dead. A sign hung in the shop, Nora's words. Listen closely. Finish what matters. Elias's journey proved that in grief's fog, a voice born in a radio's call can mend the past and light the future. Stay open, honor the lost, and answer when they call.